Yeah. Um, and I'm going to go to B first, of course, because he's a Manchester City fan. What went wrong? What went wrong tonight? How did that collapse, that implosion happen, V?
What went wrong has been pretty consistent for the season. Look at the number of injuries that had to exit the game. Look at the player errors that happened at the final minutes of this game. It's been a rinse and repeat. It's been something that we've seen too many times, and we're seeing it. We can't afford to do it against lesser competition. We definitely can't do it versus a Real Madrid, and it cost us today. I got to challenge you a little bit when you did your monologue and you did the intro with regards to competitiveness and Pep. I was really happy with what Pep did with regards to the starting 11, to be honest with you. I looked at the opportunities. I looked at some of the crossbar missed goals that we had out there. I looked at how we were controlling the game. And, hey, when it comes down to having to lose Ake, having to lose Grealish, having to lose Akanji when we are in decent control of the game, and I predicted a 2-2 draw with regards to this, not a collapse 3-2. But yes, you can criticize Pep. You can say there's other things that he could have done to kind of mitigate or minimize these late errors. But how am I going to overly criticize him, call for him out like some of the fans have been doing in the chat?
That's
When
crazy.
I see, yeah, of course, when I see Ederson kick it to Real Madrid, when I see Kova, rather than play the ball out, try and do a risky 50-50 to Rico, and then obviously he's run down on and we surrendered the third goal. So all these come into the factor. We should have controlled that game a lot better, but it's what we've been doing all season long. We have not been controlling these games, and we can't do it versus Real Madrid. Going back to the Bernabeu with a goal down is going to be damn near impossible. When I also look at the other fixtures that I got to be concerned with, because I'm looking over my shoulders now, trying to remain in top four. So I got to go into Real, and then obviously have Newcastle, have Liverpool to deal with. So it's not looking good. I'm praying I get some good reports with regards to how long these players are out. Hopefully it's somewhat precautionary and not too long. But we were good enough for how poor we've been this season to have had a better result with that game. The players that went out, it's not an excuse, it's context. For all of you crying in the chat or saying I'm making excuses, listen to what I'm saying. The context to how we surrendered this game falls on a lot of things, and part of it is the players that we had controlling the game had to exit, and Pep trying to adjust. That's what I want to point out.
I listen. There's a few comments here. JJ says, Terry, stop this guy excuses about injuries. Madrid have more injuries than them.
No,
obviously, you go on. Can
I respond? So yeah, I get the whole injuries. Real Madrid having more injuries than us, but look at how the game played out. I'm gonna say they were fortunate to play that game and not have players exit due to injuries. That is the context I'm giving, JJ. All right. That's the context I'm giving. Yes, we all had injuries, but the players that had to exit this game due to those injuries and started for us is the difference maker, in my opinion.
My challenge to you on that is in the opening 15 minutes, they ripped you apart and could have been 2 or 3-0 up, as an example. Yeah. Before Grealish going off, yeah, he started well, but I actually thought Foden played quite well. Also, he was dangerous on that from the opposite side, as an example.
Grealish was cooking and actually was a part of the first goal.
And Grealish wasn't. I praised him for that, but I thought Foden came on and also played well from the right-hand side. From my perspective, though, you had control, and before Akanji got injured, after you lost control again, and he was having to track back, you had a sort of 15 to 20-minute period when you went 1-0 up, where you sat in a bit of a medium block, you were nice and compact. You held on to the ball well. You kept the passing simple. You got to about the 38th minute, 39th minute, and then it all kind of fell apart again. In that period of them peppering you and pulling you from head to apart, that's when Akanji then got injured. He makes a substitution, but listen, you've got a new £60 million DM that you're all buzzing about on the bench as an example.
Keyword is new.
Yes, but you've spent £60 million on him. You praise the signing. He's someone that Pep wanted. He's a player that could have come in and helped shore things up. I think you blaming the injuries is a little bit excessive. And on top of that, you were leading with 3 minutes to go. And what you should have been doing is being compact. What you should have been is been more concentrated, but you were still far too open. The line was too high. And I don't see how any other club in Europe.
The line too high didn't cost us either of those goals. Us not being compact didn't cost us those goals.
Why not?
Like what you're pointing out, we had possession, Terry. Ederson kicked it to Real Madrid. It had nothing to do with the high line or not being compact. The third goal, with regards to Kova, it's not because of a high line. We were still in our own end. So this is what I'm trying to point out. It had nothing to do with us not being compact or a high line. These are opportunities in the flow of the game. Real Madrid pounced on and took full advantage of. But we would have seen this game out had we played compact or not a high line. That didn't cost us. Those goals didn't come from those.
What you're talking about,
challenging that,
and that's a fair challenge. That's a fair challenge. But the goals come from the game state. The game state allows those opportunities to present themselves. So that, for me, is how I view this. And the individual mistakes, you could look at Kovacic and say, well, actually, if he was sitting a little bit deeper and more compact, he's not playing a pass that Rico Lewis has to get spot on at that point. But it's the game state. You didn't do what you have been amazing at for 8 years. By the way, before Rodri, and you should be after Rodri, killing those games out, maintaining that possession, because they're not even a possession team. But I understand the frustration you have.
I got to challenge back on that one, Terry. I've been on the football terrace with you. I've been on the football terrace with you, and you remember when Benzema and Rodrigo made the comeback and cost us in the Champions League. This isn't necessarily, we've been perfect, or sorry, I'm not going to use perfect. I'm not going to exaggerate before you accuse me of being a liar. I'm going to say that with regards to past games, we've surrendered late crumblings before, especially to this team. And I don't think it was a matter of no Rodri in, no Rodri out. That's been evident this season, but past seasons we've surrendered, unfortunately, to the magic of this Champions League and Real Madrid. They caught us, and I'm so upset with how we played out the last 5 minutes. Absolutely, and it's been so frustrating to have to sit on the edge of my chair every damn game because we don't close games out, and we haven't been doing it. It's rinse and repeat. I'm a broken record, but we've seen this before. This is what City is this season. This is what we are this season.
And I understand that. My only challenge to it before I go to Rack is this. If there was any other team in the Premier League, whether it was in their domestic games or their European games, who were consistently not seeing games out, the manager, his system and his approach will be getting criticized. That's why I'm doing the same thing with Pep Guardiola. But I hear your challenge. Really good challenge there, V, as ever. Before I go to Hamza, Rack, what did you make of tonight?
Rack, why are you here? Why are you here, Rax?
Listen, V, I was supporting you guys. I wanted you to get rid of I wanted you to get rid of Real Madrid so that I don't have to get rid of them, or not, as the case may be. As they've knocked us out enough times. So I was here for you. I was being supportive.
I appreciate
Unfortunately, and to be up in recent years, pretty much every single time City have played Real Madrid, they've been the better team. Somehow they've contrived to go out twice out of the 3 times they've faced each other in knockout rounds. But in all 3 of those 2-legged ties, they've been the better team. Today, I think it was much more even. And you could tell that I've said it before, this City team is a shadow of its former selves. You have the same faces. They take up some of the same positions. But with the ball and without the ball especially, it's not the same. It's like the legs have gone, and I think the City players know as well that this team is at an end, and it also seems like the heart has gone to some extent, and this rebuild job is going to be big. They had opportunities, but so did Real Madrid, especially at the start of the game. As soon as you saw Real Madrid smelling blood at the start of the game, you thought, damn, City are going to be in trouble here. But to their credit, they fought themselves back into the game, took the lead twice, and then just capitulated. And we're not used to seeing this from City, and but I think this type of performance, not just for this season, I think it's going to be difficult for Pep to turn this around. I don't want to write his obituary just yet, but I don't think this is a one-season rebuild.
Yeah, you could say it's a bad season. This could be our level for the season, absolutely.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that I'm not sure from this point whether you can get back to anywhere near your level even next season. Because I think there's a lot of surgery that needs to be done to this team. Obviously, Rodri's not there. You've brought some players in. We don't know where they're gonna sit. I think City's recruitment in recent seasons has been questionable. Overall, their recruitment has been good, but I think a lot more of that good recruitment came earlier on in Pep's reign. A lot of the young players you brought in, of course, the young players, they're going to take time. There's question marks over them. I'm not sure where City go from here, because I think there's a chance they could get absolutely spanked in Madrid. I don't know. I'm not even sure. Maybe I'm going too far. I'm not even sure they get top four. I looked at those fixtures you read out, Terry. Those 7 games. I see them beating Plymouth. Everything else is up for grabs.
No, yeah, I mean, yeah. Sorry, go on, V. It's your team.
Yeah, I was going to say this is where Pep's got to earn the big bucks. This is where Pep's going to have to see out this season, because we definitely need to remain in the top 4. I think it's key. I think it's important. Is it the end of the world? No. We've seen Liverpool play in Europa a couple seasons ago and bounce back, right? We've seen them have to reinvest. So is it possible for us to get back to it? We've got a manager that committed for another 2 years when a lot were questioning whether it was going to be a 1 year or he was going to be leaving. He's committed to 2. He didn't say he was tired. He didn't say he was going to leave the game. He will be back. So we'll see moving forward. This year, it's top 4. If it's an FA Cup, thank goodness. But we've been so damaged. We've been so inconsistent, and I get it. Rivals, you got to take your shots. This is the time to actually pounce. This is when you actually want to win the league. This is when you want to actually be top 4, when you see a city like this. So all the clubs that have been waiting in the wins, this is now to do it. And we've seen past years, no shot racks, but we've seen whenever City slips, Liverpool are right there. So they're taking full advantage.
How confident are you that you're going to get Champions League football next season? Like, for me, there should be quite a large question mark.
No, it absolutely is, because it's remaining in top 4. There's a chance it may be top 5, but Champions League is absolutely a must. And again, before you guys in the chat, before you guys are all saying this guy keeps crying about injuries, that's what I'm looking at, though. I just want us to get through this season with whoever's available. I don't care what bodies are there. Get us to top 4. That fixture list is mad. Get us to top 4. FA Cups bonus, and we move.
Can I ask a question of you, Rack, before I go to Hamza? I'm going to speak to Elijah. I can see James and Shiv backstage as well. I've seen you. I will get you on as well, gentlemen. You know, I believe in the football gods. Do you think this, now looking with hindsight, was a little bit ill-advised? Should they not have done this banner tonight, in your opinion, now, Rack?
I'm not a football god-fearing man, so I would say, you know, I can understand why they wanted to give it to Madrid and to Vinny. I think a lot of, you know, Madrid like to portray themselves as a classy club. I think the way they handled that whole kind of Ballon d'Or loss thing was just a bit pathetic, really. And you know, it's football. We like the banter, right? I don't think it was a great banner, to be honest. And maybe they could. No, but I appreciate the objective. I'm just not sure whether it hit the spot. But
so let me. This is me. This is me with regards to like some event planning and when you put things together. I would have had that in the chamber. I would have had that banner ready to release, ready to put out there when the game was pretty much in control. Don't give them any ammunition. Don't give them any more motivation. Keep that banner, and then when it's like the 85th minute, we're 2-1 or we're 3-2, whatever it happens to be, then reveal it, right? But
you couldn't reveal it if you were losing, right? If you lost that game and you put it down, everyone would laugh at you. That would be even worse.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Like, I'm obviously playing a little bit, but I do believe in the football gods. I'm a football gods fearing man. So I like that expression. I'm actually going to steal it back because I think it holds a bit of truth. Hamza, my brother from another mother. There's a lot to talk about in this game tonight, but it's another match where you've got to the final few minutes and you're leading. You had the 3-3 draw with final. There's Manchester United tonight where you've absolutely thrown it away, imploded and bottled it. Why did it go so horribly wrong tonight for your team, Hamza?
I think I'm lost for words. I don't know what to say. I'm just gonna say, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. First in Kenya. I'm in Kenya, so 1:43.
Dedication.
These guys they bottled it. I'm not like you guys that sit down there. You sit on these channels and you come and talk about all tactics and all that, bro. Football is simple. You kick the ball in there, you win or you lose. What are we doing here? You win or you lose. We bottled it. It's a common problem. This year, it's come to bite Pep. I was walking in Kenya, and one person asked me, a lady asked me, what's happened to City this year? I said, what do you think? She said, Pep thought that he would work with the same squad for 4 years and continue, and you think these guys are going to still give the same level? These people are human beings. I said, if a guy in Kenya who's on the street thinks like that, and we got our structure there, they should have known this rebuild should have come somewhere. Because of that, they're paying a huge price. It doesn't matter who you are in football. It doesn't matter who you are. Yeah? I said it to you, Terry, for how many times I've come here and we've argued, but now you're tilting towards my side. When I told you last year, this shitty little small squad is one of the biggest dangers in sports. Me, I don't sit here doing tactics.
You knocked a drink over. You're right.
I bottled it there.
Yeah. No,